There's a question that I would like to ask you all, and that is, where is your giraffe? Now, some people may not actually understand the question, but it relates to some questions that I used to ask in workshops about how do you get an elephant into a refrigerator? How do you get a giraffe into a refrigerator? The thing about the giraffe is, in a way, it's a bit like an elephant. When you talk about the elephant in the room, the giraffe in the room is also invisible. So when we're thinking about the problem situation with the giraffe and the refrigerator, the main things to come out of that are that the problem isn't fully specified. It isn't fully specified. So the size of the refrigerator, is it a real giraffe? Is it a real elephant? All those sorts of things that go around it. There's information missing. And the questions were deliberately picked to introduce ambiguity, to make people sort of fall into that trap that they would make assumptions and either say we can't answer or provide absolutely silly answers. So that was the whole point of that. But in our businesses, we tend to have many giraffes. We tend to have many situations that aren't properly understood, with solutions that don't take into account all of the relevant factors, or the solutions are being constructed as a result of very poor decision making. But very curiously, unlike the tall animals, these giraffes, they seem to exist completely unnoticed. Why is it? How can all of these poor decisions be swept under the carpet? The answer usually is, of course, ego. We don't like to admit that we don't have all the answers, that we aren't in control of our business. But the irony is that by ignoring or hiding these giraffes, we are actually admitting we aren't in control. So how can we actually help ourselves? Well, this is where a few of the creative things that I talk about come in. First of all, we can examine all of the boundaries to a problem and test them. And don't introduce any extras that don't have to be there. So ask questions. Why do things have to be the way they are? Can they be, any other way? Do they have to be there at all? And also look at things in as many different ways as possible. Inside out, upside down, customer perspective, competitor perspective. The more information you get, the more able you are to actually make decisions. And finally, just stop chasing your tail. Ask yourself the question, what would happen if I ignored this situation or problem altogether? Now, if the answer really is nothing, then you've got one less thing to worry about and actually a greater feeling of being in control, so less anxiety. So you're beginning to get to grips with your giraffe. So the giraffes are these things the things we sweep under the carpets, the poor decisions, and you can get to grips with them. You just have to know how. If you want to know how, then please get in touch using any of the information that you'll find in the description below the video.